Welcome to On The Verge with Cara Bradley, weekly blasts of no-hype advice and essential practices to settle down, show up, and shift from crazy busy to high-definition, high-voltage living. Hello there, everyone. I have a question for you. Actually, I have several questions. How well do you know how your gadgets work? Your iPhone, your computer, your devices that you spend so much time on every day. How well do you know how they work? Probably pretty well. How well do you know how your body works? How your body operates, when you need to drink, when you need to sleep, when you need to go to the bathroom? Probably pretty well. You've got a good sense of what you need to do to keep humming along every day. My last question for you is, how well do you know how your mind operates? Seriously, how do you know? Do you know? Do you ever look at, how does my mind work? How does this incredible instrument, this mental capacity that I have, how does it actually work? And so my question for you is, do you train your mind like you train your body? Like you train yourself to understand your iPhone or your computer? And I ask that because I've asked myself that many times. And I love the work of Michael Gervais. He is the sports psychologist for the Seattle Seahawks and many others. And he has a great podcast called Finding Mastery. I've been listening to it for a while. And what I love about Michael Gervais is he asks the question about training your mind. How do you train your mind? And what he says so often in his work is that we spend a lot of time and a lot of money training our bodies, right? Physical fitness. We spend a lot of time training in our craft, in our hobbies, or in our vocation. But we spend little to no time training our minds. So as a strength coach, I have spent a lot of time understanding the physical body and understanding how to train physical bodies, right? And I, for the last 10 years or so, have been studying minds, my mind especially, because that's really the only mind I can study. But I've been learning now to be a mental strength coach. And so for many, many years, I am been so passionate about helping people not only train their bodies, but train their minds. And so this podcast, this episode, I'd like to talk to you about meeting your mind. This is just a meet and greet, right? I'm not going to offer you like a huge practice to work with, but just a meet and greet. Can we start to become curious about how our mind operates? And we do that with the very simple introduction of a meditation practice. Many of you know, I talk about it almost every single week, how meditation practice has changed my life, how it has helped me hum, how it helps me create and contribute to the world. And I don't know where I'd be actually without my mental training. So today is really a simple introduction to the practice of mindfulness meditation and why it should, maybe you should even consider doing it. So what is it? What is it to meet your mind? What is it to lift the hood up of your car and look underneath and take a look at your engine? That's really what meditation is. It's a way of becoming familiar with how your mind operates. And we're not trained to do it. So don't feel badly that you haven't done it, or maybe this is a refresher for you and you've had a meditation practice but have started and stopped many times, and that's really common. It was for me for a while. So what is it all about? Meditation is simply a way of getting to know your mind. It's pausing to look at it. It's pausing to become familiar with it. In fact, in Tibetan, the word meditation is gom, G-O-M. And the word gom simply means to become familiar with. So again, we are familiar with our gadgets. We're familiar with our bodies. but we're not so familiar with our minds. Meditation, what I like to call meeting your mind, is just simply that, a way of pausing to look at your mind and to notice what your mind is so busy doing, and to also experience what it feels like to just be in the present moment. So let's try this. Let's try this together. It's going to be a very, very short practice. Everyone can do it. Even if you're driving, you can do this with me. And so the simple instruction for this very introductory meditation practice is that we're going to count our breath. We're going to count up to 5. And we'll do it together, and then I'll leave you alone to try it yourself. And what'll happen as well is you're going to notice when you lose your count. And it'll happen. Your mind will ping somewhere else, and you'll lose your count. Was I on 3? Was I on 2? Was I on 5? Oops. No problem. No problem at all. You just come back to number 1. This isn't a race. There's no gold medal for getting to 5. And once you do get to 5, you'll just start again. So the numbers, the counting, is just a way to really a place to give our mind to land. It's an anchor. It's an anchor to hold on to. It's like a tether for your mind. So we're going to count to 5. We're going to notice if we've lost our count. No big deal. Come right back. No judgment. This is just an experiment, and we'll start counting again. This way of meeting your mind is really helpful because if you do it with a cheerful attitude, not of something to achieve or get right, you will start to discover where your mind goes. Where does my mind ping all day long? Wow, I'm constantly being distracted from whatever it is I'm doing. In this instance, it's just counting breath. We're just counting our breath as a way to stay present, as a way to hang out in the moment that we're in. Simple instructions, counting our breath to 5, and we're going to pause at the end of each breath. So it's going to sound like this, and I'll guide you once we get started. Inhale. Exhale 1. Pause. Inhale. Exhale 2. Pause. And the pause allows us to actually arrive in the moment, to actually just look around, to notice where we are, what we're doing, how we're feeling. And it's a quick moment. And it can be even quicker, especially if you feel like you're out of breath. Just make it quicker. This is just a guideline. This is not a rule at all. This is an experiment, and we're playing, we're exploring, and we're getting to know what our minds are so busy doing. So let's give this a try. It'll be a few minutes. And like I said, if you're driving, you can still do it. Just keep attention, focus on where you're driving, obviously. So here we go. If you're seated and still, close your eyes. Just give yourself a moment to arrive. So arriving here, noticing what you're feeling physically, how your body feels, sitting or standing, walking. And just bring a light attention to the sound of your breath. Noticing the experience of breathing in your body. So meeting your mind where it's at right now in this moment, one count at a time, one breath at a time. And let's begin the breathing together. Inhale. Exhale 1. Pause. Inhale. Exhale 2. Pause. Inhale. Exhale 3. Pause. Inhale. Exhale 4. Pause. Inhale. Exhale 5. Pause. Inhale. Exhale 1. Pause on your own. If you notice that you've lost count, no big deal. Start at 1 again. Noticing your breath. Noticing the pause between breaths. Noticing the counting. And noticing when you get lost. For the next 3 breaths, stay with the counting. Stay right with it, in the center of the counting, in the center of your breath. And now open your eyes if they're closed. Let the counting go. Let the focus on your breath go and just rest in this moment. Just pausing to be here, to notice what it feels like to be awake and alert, to be perhaps a little bit more calm and at ease. One of the byproducts of meditation is relaxation. So that was obviously a very short meditation practice, a very short opportunity to meet your mind. Meeting your mind is a way of getting familiar, becoming familiar with how your mind operates. As you progress with the meditation practice, so perhaps if you do it on your own, which I hope you'll all try, you start to notice where your busy mind goes. You start to notice when you get lost in thought, wow, I'm always planning. Wow, I'm always comparing myself. I'm always thinking about what I should be doing, or what I didn't do, or who said what to me yesterday, or what I need to say tomorrow. You may notice your mental patterns. Right? Just like you notice how an app works on your phone, or you notice how your car hums or doesn't hum when it needs an oil change, right? We are getting to know how our mind operates, and this is very, very useful. We spend a lot of time training our bodies. We spend a lot of time training in our craft and our hobbies and our vocations. We spend little to no time training our mind. So why do we want to do this? Why meditate? It seems like everybody's talking about it these days, isn't it? Mindfulness is trending, by the way. Isn't that amazing? Mindfulness is trending. Why is it trending all of a sudden? Well, in the last few years, mindfulness has started trending because there are so many research studies that are finding incredible benefits from practicing mindfulness meditation. In fact, there have been over 4,000 peer-reviewed studies telling us, encouraging us, that the benefits are vast, from reducing stress to improving sleep to increasing the gray matter in our brain. It is vast, but here's the deal. It's not going to happen if you don't do it. It's not going to happen if you don't do it consistently. And it's got to be longer than what we did together. So we did a minute or so of practice. It's got to be a bit longer than that. I offer a bunch of practices on my app, my On The Verge app that's free on iTunes and Google Play. So check it out. There's Meet My Mind. There are 2 practices, a little bit longer, quite substantially longer actually, with some instructions. And then there's loads of primer practices that help prime your body, prime your mind to practice meditation. So I hope you'll check those out. Also, check out a live teacher. You know, there's nothing like having a live meditation class to really jumpstart your practice. I am a cheerleader of this stuff. I've said it many times. My meditation practice is a staple in my life, and without it, I can't see clearly. I can't hear my body. I can't hear the messages from my body that are directing me, this intelligence that's directing me constantly about how to move and speak and proceed or to back off. Meeting your mind. Make it a New Year's resolution. Make it a commitment for yourself. Even if it's 5 deep breaths in the morning and 5 deep breaths before you go to sleep. Even if you start really, really small by meeting your mind every day, training your mind. By doing so, we become familiar with what it is that's pulling us away from experiencing our lives right here, right now, in this moment. I'm going to be talking a lot more about this in episodes ahead as I start to unfold body-mind training and what I've been doing and where I'm going in my own practices and in my own profession. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, and I do hope you'll join me. Let's get curious together about what is happening between our ears. Let's get curious about what our minds are so busy doing and how easily we get pulled out of this powerful moment. How we get pulled out of being right here on the verge in every moment. Thank you so much. Thank you for your enthusiasm. Thank you for your curiosity. Let's do this together. Allow me to support you. Email me, Cara@carabradley.net. Check out my app and let's meet our minds. Let's do it in 2017. And I look forward to hearing from you. If you're feeling fired up from this episode, please share it with a friend and review this podcast on iTunes and Google Play. And help me help more folks show up for their high definition, high voltage life.